Ragnarok chapter 82 just dropped. Of course, full breakdown is up on the channel, but just like last month, we already have the preview for chapter 83, and it's going to come as a surprise to a lot of you guys. The preview actually reads, "To overcome the adversary they have recognized, the two fighters exceed their limits and unleash the final blow. The 9th round, it's decided." So they're basically telling us that this round is going to end next chapter, which means that this entire fight is going to conclude in 6 chapters, which seems very, very short to me. Now, I've explained through my videos that I've really enjoyed this fight. I've loved both fighters, and I think that they had the potential to actually become the best fight in the series. Now, that's a tall task given that the bar is set so high with Jack the Ripper versus Hercules, in my opinion, but I really believe that they had the potential for this. Now, this ending next chapter does seem very premature to me. I thought for sure we had at least 2 more chapters. I thought, okay, we're going to come out of Apollo's backstory. We're going to get a whole chapter of fighting next chapter, and then maybe we go into the end game the following one. So I am a bit worried that we're going to be wrapping things up next chapter, especially because this is kind of reminding me of Tesla Beelzebub, where it was like there's so much more I need to see and want to see, and I don't know if we're going to get it all. The 3 major things I think we need to see, and like I said, it's going to be hard to get all this into one chapter. Number 1, we need an explanation on what the cigar's purpose was, what it does, and if it is a true ability for Leonidas. I think it's going to be a big random plot hole if he keeps using them. They have to give some kind of explanation, even if it was just he just likes smoking for whatever reason. But I feel like it does have to be some kind of ability. It's been emphasized way too much, even in the recent chapter. We need an explanation on this. Number 2, I think we need to see Leonidas' weapon transform into the spear. We need to see Leonidas use the spear at least once. Or if they're not going to do the spear, at least give us a 3rd weapon. I think they've left a ton on the table with his Valen being able to transform into various weapons. We've only seen really 2, maybe 3 different iterations. I would like to see the spear. And the 3rd point I think we need to see is I think we need to see Apollo's Threads of Artemis turn into a bow and arrow for once. Whether that be the thing that gets him the win, if he is going to win, or his final shot, I think we need to see that. They need to stick the landing on this fight because it's too damn good to really mess it up in the end. And I think that the weapons that each have on both sides have so much potential that's left untapped. They can turn in whatever they want. This is the first time we've ever seen 2 characters that have versatile weapons like this that can constantly change, whatever they need. I'd like to see more. I wish we were getting more chapters, but if the next chapter's peak, if we hit maybe I'd say at least 2 out of the 3 things I mentioned, it still can be great. If the final sequence is fire, then I guess let's get it. It does make some sense due to the nature of their fighting styles and the way that Leonidas puts everything into every blow and how Apollo set the stage for them to fight within the lines. It kind of expedited the process, like where it's not going to be just a dragged out fight. So it does make some sense for this to be one of the shorter ones. I just want to make sure we get the full scope and full potential realized for a proper ending that is worthy of what I deem one of the most entertaining fights we've had thus far. Now, as far as who I think is going to win, there's a couple things that kind of lead to the side of one. Obviously, the major one, the obvious one, I've talked about pretty much ad nauseum at this point about the Norse takeover theory, about the evil Odin theory, that like it seems that there's a constant trope that the Greeks are losing besides Zeus, that he loses all his big time fighters, which in turn will weaken the Greeks and allow for the Norse to easily kind of take that dominating role in the verse as the top dogs, especially if Loki and Odin win their fights, which I think they will. Not to mention if the 14th god fighter is revealed to be a Norse, which I think it will be, he also wins. They could have a situation where it looks like all the Greeks were responsible for the losses and the Norse kind of saved the day for the gods and got the win. That's one possibility that might be a narrative thing. Also, if you want more information on that, go check out my videos. I talk about the theories in much more depth than those. Now, the other thing that was very interesting in this chapter is that I seen in the comments, somebody said major death flag of Locke, Jack's Valkyrie, how she was acting like Geirjafol can never lose and how she was looking very wary. She was almost not confident. She was very worried about Geirjafol. Like, oh yeah, when she gets going, like nobody's gonna beat her or whatever. But then that last panel is very suspect. So that's kind of a death flag for Leonidas. They were kind of overconfident. And like I told you guys in my review, Leonidas misjudging Apollo's character, misjudging what is the foundation of his very being and the true fighting spirit he possesses should lead into some consequences for him. That should come back to bite him, to almost in the sense of underestimating Apollo in this instance. Now, on the flip side, for Apollo, things that don't look that good, if you look at how these fights usually go, it's usually like a momentum swing, a pendulum, where it's like the momentum goes here, momentum goes back, momentum goes back. So now we're on the side where it's like, okay, Leonidas just got the big hit, the momentum should be swinging back to Apollo. Now, that could lead to the start of the chapter, Apollo getting the upper hand, but the fact that that cigar is the one thing for sure, it seems, that needs to have some kind of reveal, some kind of ultimate explanation. It seems like the stage could be setting up for Apollo to get the pendulum, Leonidas to get the final swing, which ends up leading to his victory. Now, that's all going to be contingent on my theory that that is going to be some kind of point of emphasis. So maybe it won't be, maybe we're just wrong. And maybe they just give him that big moment with the reveal and then it ends up not being enough for Apollo. I'm truly up in the air. I don't know who's going to win. I think there's evidence on both sides. Let me know who you guys think is going to win based on all the evidence we have right now in the comments below. One comment here is like, the cigar is going to get my boy Leo that dub. It's going over Apollo's head. He doesn't notice the smoke can cost him. That smoke is definitely something. This is exactly in line with what I'm thinking as well. Now, also with Zeus though, in fairness, Zeus has had extreme confidence in Apollo from the start and even went as far as to say he's unbeatable. It's what makes him strong, which of course shouldn't be the case after he's seen Hades and Poseidon lose, but it almost seems as something like it's going to be unfathomable for him to watch Apollo lose. And again, as I put emphasis on this in the theories, this could ultimately be what finally breaks Zeus to see now his trueborn son dying after having absolute confidence in him. That's why I'm just like, if I had to veer one way for the prediction, something in my gut is telling me Leonidas is probably going to win this. Another outside the box possibility that is going to be at play here in all the rounds of Ragnarok all the way up until the end is the chance we get a draw. A draw must occur, which I've gone over many times, but I'll do it again here because in round 6, Buddha switched sides. And in turn, 2 gods were taken off the roster. A lot of people think Zero Fugo filled that spot, but he didn't because Zero took the spot of Bishamonten, who is part of the 7 lucky gods that make up Zero Fugo. So 2 gods were expended in that fight. If every human fighter is to fight that's on the current roster, another god would have to be added. Now, the problem with that is Bracket of Ragnarok really is only supposed to be 13 rounds because it's the first to 7. So the way things are currently looking, there's no way we can get every human fighter to fight and still only have 13 rounds. That means a draw must occur to force the gods to add another god fighter to fight the last human on the roster. Of course, they might subvert expectations and not make every person on the roster fight, but it seems like they are going to do that, and it seems like we are going to get that 14th overtime round. They might hold that out, though, for the later rounds, but it's possible here. And with how much we love both these characters, I think it'd be kind of fitting. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this fight ending next chapter? What do you think of this fight so far? And let me know who you're rooting for in the comments below. Smash the like button if you're enjoying this fight. Hit that subscribe button for more content you don't want to miss next month. The finale of the fight, of course, I'll be covering it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.